dressed in his day clothes behind the glass front door. They opened the door and ushered me in silently, gesturing to me to enter and hurriedly hustling me into the kitchen. "Perfect timing, Nano," whispered Mistress. "Vicky was just setting off to the village to pick you up. It appeared that no mobile could get a signal in this isolated spot. I had arrived at just the right time and saved Vicky a drive down into the village. It seemed I had made the right judgment and would escape punishment for not following Mistress's directions. I didn't think it would make much difference. I anticipated she would find something else to punish me for. But that's to be expected when you have offered yourself up as a dungeon slave. Vicky has got the clothes you need to change into. Keep very quiet," Mistress implored. "Slave Peter doesn't know you're coming today. It's going to be a little surprise for him," said Mistress, a wicked glint in her eye. She clearly had elaborate plans for the day. Chapter 2. Vicky brought a black lycra all-in-one suit to change into, and while Mistress changed into her play clothes, Vicky led me through into the cottage's lounge where I was made to lie face down on the hearth rug in front of the fireplace. Vicky hog-tied me, my wrists behind me and secured to my ankles. I would stay in this position until Mistress was ready for me. I heard footsteps and a whispered conversation above me in the bedroom where Mistress must be putting her other slave into bondage. The nipple clamps underneath my lycra suit pressed against me ever so often, sending a wave of pain rippling through my body. I held my breath. I knew I must stay completely silent. Whatever Mistress was plotting, it was based around Slave Peter not knowing there was somebody else in the cottage, and the last thing I wanted to do was let out any squeak of pain and give the game away. I would not be very popular if I spoilt the little surprise Mistress had planned. I tried to take my mind away from any distress from the tight bondage and the pain from the nipple clamps by guessing what Mistress might have planned for the day. I'd had a chance to orientate myself and get some feel for the brilliant opportunities provided by such a secluded spot for outdoor play. Mistress herself had hinted at some of the things that might be in store. Seeing the brooding isolation of the cottage firsthand had provided me with an insight into its potential. It was so quiet, so beautifully isolated. You couldn't possibly be disturbed up here. It was in the middle of nowhere, set high up against the fells, far away from the farm I had passed on the way up from the village. I could understand why Mistress was so excited about this place. There were great opportunities for outdoor play, and surely there was no chance of being disturbed up here. I eagerly speculated on what might happen to Slave Peter and me. Mistress's brilliant imagination would no doubt have come up with numerous scenes that she could act out. I visualized myself spread eagled out in the little walled garden below the cottage, my wrists and ankles secured to metal stakes. Perhaps Slave Peter would be tied tightly to a tree, the rough bark digging into his back. I imagined us both naked, open to the elements and also exposed to the risk of discovery. But this place was so isolated, this was unlikely. Perfect for outdoor play, virtually no chance of being caught, but still a little residual of doubt in our minds. Mistress would have our bodies stretched out and bound, ready for torture, or perhaps just to be left out there cruelly in the November chill while she retired to the cottage with a mug of steaming tea watching out of the kitchen window and laughing at her slave's predicament. When she thought we'd been left in the cold long enough, she would come back out to the garden. In my head, I could hear the conversation that might take place. "Are you cold, Slave Nano?" "Yes, Goddess," I would shiver. "Would you like me to warm you up, Slave Nano?" "Yes, please, Goddess." She would laugh at me as she stood over my staked-out body and hitched up her skirt. "Don't worry, I'll warm you up with something steaming and hot," she exclaimed. What a wonderful scenario that would be, I reflected, as I quietly made slight adjustments to my arms and legs to ward off any risk of cramp.